chat question. If you could change one thing about the CSAT, what would it be and why? Um, I think if it's possible, I want to implement some like more activity tests, like related to critical thinking, like essay or like debating or presentation or kind of thing. Because from now on, we just want to study about finding a correct answer, and I think it that kind of system makes students to study only focus on catching a correct answer, not the main purpose of that subject. But in debating or some kind of essay, they can study specific subjects not only for finding a correct answer, but they might thinking about more, and they can add their idea, and eventually they have to study about how to express their thinking. So it might be useful for in the students like future. So I want to implement that kind of system in CSAT. How about you?
Mm. I want to reinforce the subject of Korean, like I if I were a manager of government, I want to implement like a essay, writing an essay, or to to evaluate logical thinking. So because many students just memorize the textbook, and so I want to evaluate like logical thinking, like how can I speak like a 문수?
Yeah, Nonzu, just essay.
It's just essay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
How about you, Yujun?
If I can change one thing, I want to reduce literature part in Korean because it led students to memorize the characteristic of some famous writers or some famous works.
Yeah. You just want to delete.
Not delete, but reduce.
Reduce. Okay. Finish. Okay.
One thing, just one thing.
Okay.
If I can change one thing about the CSAT, I want to change the structure of English test. We just only test students' ability choosing grammar and the reading skills, but many experts say our Korean English education system lack of speaking and listening. So if we make English test to evaluate our students speaking or readings, then I think schools also have to change the structure of English education, so then we can lead students to improve their English skills in speaking and listening.
Yeah, I agree with the listening part because when I was in middle and high school, we did not fully focus about studying listening. Like we have like in the CSAT or kind of we have one listening test per year, right? When in middle school, but the difficulty is not that high, and so we don't study that hard. And also in the academy, teachers did not teaching about listening they just give a homework and hey, dictation. You have to finish also dictation. Then that's all. They don't teach how to like how to get a skill for listening. So I think it'll be good to add some listening part. Number two, do you think preparing for the CSAT helped you improve your English skills in a meaningful way? Yeah, I think preparing CSAT English might help to improve our English skills, but it is not that time effective. We study really hard and more deep, but actually after the CSAT, students who study really hard and get a first grade of English subject, but if it's the time they went go abroad for travel, they did not speak well as much as they studied. So I think just studying CSAT English subjects, yeah, it must be helped to. It must improve their English skill, but not that useful. So I think for this question, I think the like the effect is not that not that meaningful. Yeah.
CSAT helped me to improve some parts of English, such as like a vocabulary, grammar part, or like a reading skill. But I'm poor at like a speaking, like a typical Korean student. So yeah, that's it. So I think I studied hard some part of like this, but actually I think English is also a language, so speaking is the most important part of that language. So it's some kind of we have to more focus on the speaking. Yeah.
I think the test time, CSAT test time is too limited to solve all the questions thinking carefully, so students just practice the skills to solve them fast during preparing the test.
Yeah.
So if solving the questions fast is the most important part in studying English, then it is helpful, but I think it is not.
Yeah.
So I think to improve English skills in a meaningful way, we have to study the listening and speaking part more than reading.
My answer can be different. How to define English skills, because reading is also English skills.
Right.
In terms of this, I think suneung is helpful to improve our English skills because we have to know many words and sentences, grammar. But if we define English skill is speaking and listening, then
Communication.
then it's not helpful because in suneung we just have to solve the problem very quickly, and many teachers just teach students how to solve the problem. So but some people say in Korea we don't need to learn speaking that much because we are Korea is not close
To Western
Western country. because in Europe they are very close UK, so they have many chances to talk with English people.
Yeah.
But in Korea we don't. So so I think suning is also not that bad. Yeah, but many experts point out our English education is very weird because even American people cancel the suning.
Yeah.
But it depends on how to define English skills. Yeah. Because some people say in Korea company we just use reading skills more than speaking or listening.
Right.
Like searching English materials like that. So
it depends on the purpose, conversation or just understanding the passage. Okay, for number 3, what differences have you noticed between English for tests and English for real communication? For me, real communication is same as the skill to talk with foreign people while I'm traveling. So it means it did not require that high quality of words. Just a simple word kind of be okay. So in my case, English for tests can help to learn more hard vocabulary words or hard grammatical point. It means like more high quality English. But in real communication while traveling, we did not, I did not need that much of the deep and high quality English skills. It means confidence is more important, and just a short phrase like I just found it in the dictionary, like 수거. I don't make phrases. It's more important than the grammar or hard vocabulary words. So yeah. So I think that is the big difference. Just for test is more deep, but we cannot just talk or write just for picking a correct answer. But in the real communication, we use another kind of English. So I think that is the big difference between both of them.
English for tests means we have to solve the problem. We have to solve the complex sentence in time, and it requires the knowledge of complex vocabulary, grammar, and for real communication, it just it's real communication. It doesn't require a lot of difficult than English for tests. So wherever we go to, we have to meet a foreigner who using English. It just can. It's okay that we just communicate using English. Yeah. That's it.
I think English for tests is regarded with analyzing the structure of English sentences fast and memorizing words as much as possible. And English for real communication is about that I can catch the intention of speakers and I can deliver what I want to say even though the utterances are ungrammatical.
I think the English for test is more about theory. We have to learn grammar and sentence structure like that, and then we have to find the answers. And but in real communication, we have to catch what people say, and also we have to respond automatically because in conversation we have to say right away when we get people's people saying what.
Yeah.
So it's totally different, and in real communication we don't need to use hard grammar
Yeah.
thing, and yeah, we usually don't care about our grammar is correct. Yeah. So yeah, that's my answer.
Number 4, how would you feel if Korea adopt a more holistic college admission system like in the US? In our previous class, I just thought about that. I just imagined about if we adopt the US or UK system. I'm worried about the high school students' passion. They did not study. They did not study hard because college admission did not require that much about their high school life. So I just worry about it. But from now on, while I'm preparing for this question, Korea parents' ego and passion for their child's life is really deep, and they think that is most important in their life. So I think if the Korea adopt a more holistic college admission system, it might not that dangerous as I thought in the previous class, because if the university admission did not require any high school life, but they have to prepare for the future life, after college. So the parents or even a teacher might teach something more deep that can be used in the future life. So I think it can help to enhance our whole quality of students after high school when they became adults. I think it will be more useful to live in a real life, not only in a CSAT or the high school life. Quite different. In high school, we just need to. We don't have to even talk in a whole life. It is not that matter because the most important thing is just a grade. So I think the reason why our Korean students is hesitate about the presentation is that kind of thing. But if we adopt this kind of system, the confidence or critical thinking about subjects might be enhanced to students. So I think I want to implement and adopt this kind of system. Yeah.
US system is helpful for students because I can see many students who got a higher grade, like elite students. They do not. Are they more focused on studying more than doing a PE class? So I think young students have to balance between physical realm and intellectual realm. So sometimes I envy whenever I saw a MBA, many famous stars also graduated a prestige university. So that is a good point in US. US university choose students not only a higher grade of students, but also they also want their students physical activity. So I think it's a good system.
I think sushi is a kind of holistic system, but I'm worried that whatever system is introduced, it'll be adjusted to our competitive atmosphere.
Yeah.
So there will be a lot of people who generate new way to achieve the shortcut in any kind of college admission system. So it is not about the system itself, but it is about our competitive atmosphere.
I also have same opinion. I think sushi seems to holistic college admission. So I think we have already good education system. So the problem is just our education atmosphere. And I think Korean education is not that bad because we already made famous people and we are developed. So yeah, so compared to other countries, I think our education is good, and yeah, some people say our education is very bad and terrible, but I don't think. Yeah. So yeah, that's it.
Okay. Let's go over to page 90. In-depth discussion question. Okay. Number 1. How does the dual track system of Sushi and Jiangxi affect students' priorities in high school? Does it offer flexibility or simply extend academic pressure across more years? As you two guys mentioned that the method and system is not that matter. The important thing and the main matter is the education atmosphere. So I think Sushi and Jiangxi dual track system is not that issue for me because either way is fine, but I just wonder about the main purpose of separating two systems. Many of the students just choose Sushi first, but if they fail some exam, they just change to Jiangxi. I have some question about government. Is this the main purpose of their system or not? Because I think it is not that good. So in the class, we have a Kazakhstan friends, and their system is just only one, like kind of sushi. They have to prepare and they have to keep high grade in their high school exam, and also they have like CSAT. So I think I don't know the main purpose of both separating two systems. I just want to mixture them in one. So this is my opinion.
Two track can offer flexibility, I think, because students can choose or track that they want their strengths. So, but as I said, many students at first they want to enter the college using sushi.
Yeah.
But if they fail their first midterm exam, they change Jiangxi sushi to Jiangxi. So yeah, it's a separate separate part, and so so students can feel burden to prepare at first sushi, and after they also have a burden to prepare jongshi. Yeah, it can extend their academic pressure and fatigue.
My answer is quite similar with you guys, as sushi requires students to show steadily high score, so students tend to focus more on preparing CSAT if they got not a good grades during their first semester in high school, and it makes them not engage in class in school but study privately during the class.
I think it offers flexibility. My opinion is also similar to you guys, and when students prepare for sushi, they have to compete with other students. So when they failed, they have to prepare for CSAT. So their track system can give students one more chance. So I think students can get more chance because of two-track system.
Okay. Number 2, in what ways does focusing on EVS materials for CSAT preparation limit students' real-life English communication skills? Should English classes be restricted to balance exams and language use? Yeah, the CSAT studying and education style is not that big related into our real life conversation or real life English, but I think the study for high school is prepare for university, and studying for middle school is preparing for high school. So it means the main purpose of high school is make their students to get into a good college and obtain great like various information. So it means English education, CSAT English education style might help to obtain kind of English, a college English education, because in our class we can learn about like the question of CSAT, so it might be help. So I think the purpose is important. The main purpose of high school is to make their students to be a more fluent speaker. The structure and the system have to be restructured, but if their main purpose is just to make their students to more easily understand about their college life, now the system that we using now is not that bad. So it depends on the purpose.
EVS system is a very good policy, so it can help students to focus or to study more easily without using money. And nowadays many EVS can offer a very high quality class. They select very famous students like a private lecturer, but it forces students to more focus on memorizing passage and for exam. So it has a gap between the real exam and real communication. So English classes should restruct, and they will focus on like some part such as listening and speaking. Yes.
As I said before, in that ABS materials are not focused on speaking skills. Students can't develop oral English communication skills during CSAT preparation. I think to solve this problem, the subject English should be taught in English like our classes, or CSAT should contain English speaking test.
Okay.
Focusing on EVS materials for CSAT, in this system, we just learn how to solve the problem, and of course there is a listening test, but we just listen and we don't respond the listening. So in terms of language use, it's not that helpful. So if the education government's purpose is to improve students' speaking skills, then we have to restructure our English system. So
For number 3, the sushi system favors students with stronger school records and support. What strategies or policy changes could make this route more accessible to students from disadvantaged backgrounds? We often discuss about this gap between like well-funded city or rural city, but I think it is impossible to solve, and it is impossible to like reduce the gap between both of them. But I think I can only just one thing, like university, college have to make the like regional quota system, which can choose the minimum percentage of their students in specific region that is not that well funded. So I think from now on I can only think about to reckon in like broader this kind of regional quota system.
Sushi relies on wealth of family and students. So public schools need to have like they offer extra class after finish their curriculum.
Yeah.
So and also can offer career counseling in school, so they can have students who they can have poor students.
I think teachers should master all of the college admission tracks to guide students with the most stable one. And to guide them well, teachers must counsel students regularly, understand their circumstance deeply, and provide various activities that can be recorded on their school record. And I want to add to your opinion regarding to number 7. I wrote that there is already an admission track called 농어촌, which is made to ensure the equality for those who live in under-resourced
Country.
area. It is sometimes abused by immigrants who actually live in urban city but moved just for use the
benefit.
such tracks. So I not that huge. Korea is not huge enough to apply such quota system compared to China.
Yeah.
This is we can solve this problem easily because it's related to parents' desire, and even in Jeongji we have to all students have to compete with others.
Yeah.
So I think the system is very limited. So the whole social atmosphere and structure have to be changed to solve this problem. Because we already implement method to solve this problem.
Okay. Number 4, did your high school experience prepare you for sushi style applications? What support or resources could schools offer to help students build competitive academic and extracurricular records? Yeah, in my memories, we have lots of competition or lots of chance to like experience about activity thing, but there's some side effect, like schools want to make some student, just a few student, to be to get into the top tier university, because their grading system in the first grading system requires only 4% of students. So the school teachers and school system just want to make them to get a high quality of experience. So in my memories, like the grading system or awarding system is not that equal that I expected. So I have some experience about some like unfair situation. So like especially the private high school is more have more this kind of problem. So yeah, and back to the question, yeah, it is quite helpful, but in some part it is so unfair to make me to quit the sushi.
So schools should provide competition, diverse student clubs, and in my case, my school teachers do not. My school teacher encouraged students to make a new club. So I also made a new club. So then, school should provide. School should have students build competitive records, and and also like a mentoring system, like a projects, and like a public infrastructure.
Teachers try to provide a lot of competitions in school. I experienced competitions that require students to sing in English or make a business plan, write essay, and so on. So such competitions can be benefit for students if they won a prize in that competition or it is written in their school records. But I also have experienced such an unfair situations. Like teachers tries to put the students who is aiming to apply Seoul National University in the nomination, even if they are not that
good at competition.
Yeah.
That's
experience, my high school also gave students more opportunities for thesis style applications, but actually I didn't remember well because I didn't care about sushi. But in my memory, schools just paid attention to some a few students
Yeah.
who are already got good grades in first grade. So there are a lot of opportunities, but it just focused only some people.
Yeah, and I heard that there's problem to in I'm not sure, I cannot remember the exactly what high school, but they for the one students they take the answer of the test to push to take care of him. So I think that kind of system is really problem in especially private high school. For number 5 is relying on a single high stakes test like the CSAT a fair way to determine university admissions. What are the advantage and risk of this kind of evaluation system? Relying on a single high stakes test like CSAT, it is like a big issue. Like on one hand, it is quite efficient to take a same exam in the same day. So it means it can helpful for teacher or government to grading students efficiently. But on the other hand, I have a question about the purpose of the CSAT. It can make students reinforce the memorizing skill, but I'm not sure that it can help to students well-rounded potential for the overtime in the long future. So I think, yeah, it has a side effect. It has some good point. Like it is quite equal to offer equal rules on just one paper, but it might be fail on the future. So yeah, that's my answer.
Single test can has advantage like objectivity, but many students will get a pressure because it only, they only assess one exam, so it can it is likely to fail to evaluate a students' diverse potential, and they will lack of students who students who do not endure this pressure, they will fail the single exam, and they have no they have no self check, like
Yeah.
so yeah, that's it.
I think CSAT is more fair than sushi in that all students are assessed with same materials and same time measurements. But because it depends on a single day students' condition, or for example their health condition or state of environment, the school's condition, or even weather can influence their grade. It is quite a big risk of that type of test.
I personally I think single high test like the CSAT is fair, but I heard that some people point out it's unfair because in Seoul, the eager parents to teach their children a lot. So, and they also send their children 학원 even in their very young age. So, yeah, it seems to be very unfair with in the students living in 지방. So, and the risk is score in 수능 doesn't guarantee the ability of some subject, a major. So even if you get high score in 수능, you could not good at your major.
Yeah.
So some people fail their major. Yeah. So this is risk in 수능.
Okay. For the next question, could Korea realistically require personal statements and interviews in university admissions as seen in the UK? What safeguards would be needed to prevent new forms of inequality? Like in the past, I felt that implementing the more like more the interview, implementing the interview is quite efficient. But when in my experience, I heard that there are lots of academy related to only for interview, and it can really help their students to be more like confident and can deliberate their own opinion more like critically. So I think it will make another gap between the well-funded parents, students, and or the poor students. So the government has to give a variety of opportunity related to interview academy, like interview lecture for free, to reduce that kind of gap. And they might also use a lot of safety guard to listen only for the student's opinion, not the outside academy or like private education opinion. So I think that will be important when we implementing that kind of system.
Personal statements and interviews can give the university to assess their students more easily, but it maybe private education consulting academy will be more increased. So to prevent this disadvantage, like blind test, blind interview, will be helpful for this policy.
Actually, universities in Korea had required such personal statements until a few years ago, but one of the main problems it can cause is that it can lead unfair admission, benefited from personal relationship with the admission manager. Also, the higher social economical status student has, the more likelihood that the student have more notable experiences that can be written in his or her school reports and influence positively on the university admission through sushi.
I think if we implement this system like UK, some problem also come up with we already have now. Yeah, even in now we have good system, but we can hear many newses from like
Inequality.
inequality
Yeah.
because of the personal relationship.
Yeah.
So even especially in Korea, we are really paying attention to relationship, and the relationship can lead some people's success, and including the university admission. So I think this system could make different problem